Hello, everyone, and welcome to Chapter 11, Lesson 12. This is the last lesson in the book, the last new one in the book. After this, we will have done all of the lessons, and then all we will have left is review material. So, congratulations on making it this far. Okay, so we are still working on measurement and how we can measure objects, and today we're going to be doing something we've seen before. How can I show measurement data? Oh, well, I could reteach this because it is something we've talked about before, but you know what? Why don't we just take out the old video and see what we can remember from it? Hold on, let me get my old TV. Okay, so since this is an old video, I'm going to get out my old black and white TV and I'm going to turn it on. And let me just find the tape here. Okay. Oh, well, first I'm going to need some popcorn. And yeah, I need something to drink if I'm going to have popcorn. And I don't normally do this, but I'm going to put my feet up. Okay. And let me get that video. Oh, yeah. Whew. All right, let's take a listen. All right, so now we're looking at page 568. Oh, I remember
reading
this.
at the top. A line plot is a way to organize data.
Mm-hmm.
Line plots are used to see how often a certain number occurs in data.
Oh, nicely done, Mr. P.
Mr. Sun's students marked their ages on a tally chart. They made a line plot using the data. Well, let's take a look. It says age.
Oh, yeah, I think I kind of remember something about this. And then we go ahead and we put X's on there to show how many people have something, how many people have done something. Okay, well, you know what? I think I've watched enough, and hopefully you have too, to remember what we need to do with line plots. Right, okay, so let's move on. Okay, so what we're doing today is we're going to show how we can use a line plot to talk about lots of measurements. Okay, we're not just measuring one thing. Actually, today we won't need to measure anything. I've got the measurements for you. So let's say, and we're going to change each page a little bit. Let's say there are 5 pencils and we want to measure them. And maybe one of them is 5 inches, another one is 5 inches, another one is 4 inches, and the next one is 4 inches, and one of them is 3 inches. And we need to show all of these measurements, all of this data. Remember that word from way back in March? We need to show all of this data on our line plot. Well, we've got 2 pencils that were 5 inches long. So our unit here, our label is inches. And we're going to go to the number 5. And what are we going to put above it? Do you remember? We're going to put 2 X's. Right. And then we've got 2 pencils that were 4 inches long. So we're going to go to the 4 and put 2 X's there. And we only had 1 pencil that was 3 inches long. So we're going to put 1 X there. Boys and girls, that is all we are doing as far as line plots go. We've got a bunch of measurements and we just need to show all of that information in a nice organized way. Now let's go on to page 716. So let's look at the helpful hint at the top. It says, remember, a line plot tells us how many times a number occurs in data. So here we have a line plot at the top, and the title is Shoe Lengths, and our unit is centimeters. And there's a question. How many people have shoes that are 23 centimeters long? Well, we find the number 23, and we count the X's, and we can see that there are 2 there, and that's our answer. Okay, so a long time ago when we did line plots and tallies and charts and things like that, and we were getting our data all organized, just like we used to do with arrays, we're bringing that back and we're going to answer questions about it. Now, let's look at the bottom half of the page, and I'm going to do this one with you. It says measure the length of the right hand of 10 people in inches. Use the data to make a line plot. So the line is all set up for us. It says hand lengths and it's in inches. And instead of you going around and measuring 10 people's hands, I've got measurements for you right here on the left side. And I want you to use mine so that when I give you the answers, we'll have some consistency. Everybody can have the same thing that they can check their answers with. So we've got 4 inches, and you'll see that I'm using the mark here for inches. There just wasn't enough room to write it all out. So 4, 4, 5, 5, 5, 5, 6, 7, 7, and 7. Well, there are 2 people's hands that are 4 inches long. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go to the 4, and I'm going to put 2 X's right there. 2 X's because there are 2 people. There are 2 hands that are 4 inches long. Well, 2 right hands. Now, I see the number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm going to put 4 X's above the 5. Okay, and then I see 1, 6. One right hand that was 6 inches, and I'm going to put 1 X there. And finally, I see 3 that are 7, and I'm going to put 3 X's there. Okay, so the line plot is all set. We've got all of our data on the line plot. Now we're ready to answer the question. Number 1, how long are most of the hands? And the answer here is the one with the most X's. Now here's where you have to be careful. How long are most of the hands? So the answer is 5 inches. That's important. It's asking how long. It's not saying how many people have the longest hand. So be careful. You have to put the right number in there. Number 2, how long is the longest hand? And what's the answer to that? The longest hand is 7 inches. Okay, because 7 is bigger than these other numbers. So we put a 7 there. At the bottom, it says Talk Math. How does a line plot help to show measurement data? Well, it just helps us present everything in a nice, organized way. And it's pretty easy to see how many people have hands that are 5 inches or 6 inches. We can see that 6 inches is not very common and that 5 inches is very common. Okay? All right, now let's move on. So for page 717, I want you to ignore the directions. It says measure 15 books from your classroom library. I want you to use these numbers here in the top right, so forget the 15 books. These are the measurements for 10 books. What I want you to do is put them on the line plot. Okay, it says here book lengths. It's in centimeters. I've done the measurement for you. And once the line plot is all set, answer questions 3 and 4. Okay, you could answer 3 and 4 just by looking at that chart of numbers, but it's so much easier on a line plot. It's so much easier to see all of the information. The bottom half says measure 15 used crayons. Okay, but you know what? We're not going to do that. I've already measured 10 used crayons. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to put these numbers in the chart on the line plot, wherever they're supposed to go, and then answer questions 5 and 6. Okay, and let's move on. Okay, you see a lot of words on this page, right? Here we go. We've got 4 word problems. 2 of them are brain builders. If you just read them and go slowly, you should be able to get them all, but they're not easy. Some of them are not easy. Let's look at number 7. We'll do this one together. A line plot shows that 12 people are 48 inches tall, 8 people are 50 inches tall, and 9 people are 48 inches tall. 47 inches tall. How tall are most of the people? Oh, please don't do this one in your head. Try this. Let's make a line plot. So I've got my little line plot set up, and I'm going to just take all of the numbers that I see there. So I've just put down here numbers 46 through 50. Okay, and the reason why I chose these numbers, I didn't even need the 46. It tells us that we've got 48 inches, 50 inches, and 47 inches. Okay, so my lowest one is 47 to 50. Okay, now it says that 12 people are 48 inches tall. So I'm going to go to the number 48 and I'm going to put 12 X's. And you can count them if you want to, but believe me, there are 12. Then it says 8 people are 50 inches tall. So above that 50 mark, I'm going to put 8 X's. And finally, 9 people are 47 inches tall, and I'm going to put that there. Now the question, this is the part that would need to be circled. How tall are most of the people? How tall are most of the people? These are the important words. Well, most is the one that has 12 X's, and we can see that. And how tall are those people? Right, they are 48 inches, and that is what we put on the line. Okay, so good luck with numbers 8, 9, and 10. So your homework is to do pages 719 and 20. And before we say goodbye, let me go ahead and give you one more set of measurements. Okay, so you can read the top on your own, the homework helper. It reviews what we just talked about. And for the practice, it says, measure the thumb length of each of your family members. Use the data to make a line plot. Well, you don't have to go ahead and do that. I've got the numbers for you right there. Let's just say these are the thumb measurements of 4 family members. Okay, so plot those and answer the questions. And that's it. Make sure you keep everything clean and organized. That's why we're using line plots, because we need to keep everything nice and easy to see and understand. I hope you enjoyed this final new math lesson. The end.